Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For anybody new here, my name is Zion and we talk about all things money. So today I'm coming to you guys with your second stimulus check update for 6/22. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what we can expect for the next stimulus check, when we can expect the next stimulus check, what we think is going to actually be included in it, just kind of where we're at in the economy overall and in general. Towards the end of the video, I'm going to be giving some people who haven't received their first stimulus check some of my tips and tricks, so stick around until that, but also going to leave a timestamp down below. If you are someone and you're solely here for my video to see about the first stimulus check, then you can go to that time in the description box down below. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, go ahead and hit the like button down below. Just hit it, give it a big hit, and also comment down below. I want to know a bit about what's going on right now in the state that you're in. I know New York is about to open up. They're about to enter into phase 2. And so if you're in New York, let me know wherever you are. I want to know what is going on right now inside your state. All right, guys, let's get to the video. So starting off, we know that Trump has actually come out and said that there will be a second stimulus check, not just a second stimulus package. We know that there's going to be a second stimulus package for sure. We've known that for quite a bit of time because, for example, we've known it for quite a bit of time. The House has already even passed another bill. They passed the HEROES Act, and it's just waiting to be passed in the Senate. But we know that that act in its entirety is not going to be passed. But we know that certain aspects of the bill will actually be passed and be enacted into the second stimulus package. For example, we know that unemployment is going to actually be in there in some form or some fashion. The Fed just came out and said that if we get rid of federal unemployment insurance, some families will not be able to pay their bills. And so we know that there's going to be either a continuation of the $600 a month, $600 a week federal unemployment benefit insurance, or there's going to be some sort of drop in the $600, maybe to $250 a month, or maybe to $250 to $300 every single week. That's what the Republicans have proposed. Also, we know that there's going to be some sort of small business insurance, some sort of small business liability insurance, or some sort of small business aid. That's been a really big push by the Republicans, and we know that the Republicans are kind of in the driver's seat because they do have control of the Senate. Additionally, we know that there's going to be some sort of aid to states and local governments. We know that there's been a really big push by the Democrats, and the states have really stepped up and done quite a bit of work with this overall COVID-19 effort. And so really quickly, I want to mention, if you are in a really hard place financially right now, what you can do is go and see what sort of aid your state is giving. Even if they're not giving aid in the form of an actual stimulus check and actual stimulus money, they could be giving stimulus aid elsewhere. They could be doing some sort of local food drive. Additionally, you guys should check in and look at your local churches and see if your local church is doing something. I know a church that's very close by to where I live has free food drives every single Sunday. So moving on, in addition to state and local government aid, we can also expect there to be some sort of focus on manufacturing of some sort and a push to getting more manufacturing jobs out there. Separate from the actual bill, we know that Democrats and Republicans and President Trump really want to spend money on a infrastructure spending bill, and we can pretty much infer that that's going to be separate from the actual stimulus package. Now, in terms of how much money we can expect to spend, we know that Democrats put out a bill that was roughly $3 trillion, but Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell does not want that bill. He thinks that $3 trillion is way too much. He wants $1 trillion. But then we've had President Trump come out and say that he wants $2 trillion. So my belief is that it's going to be somewhere in the middle. Because President Trump has come out and say that he plans on getting stimulus checks, we should know for a fact, we can infer that there's going to be some sort of stimulus relief in the form of individual checks. Now, who's going to be eligible for that? We don't really know, but I think we can kind of infer that it's going to be pretty close to what the Democrats proposed, roughly $1,200. I don't know if as many people are going to be eligible for it as there are in the HEROES Act, just because they are trying to conserve spending. And I think that at the end of the day, the Democrats are going to want to work with Republicans just to get some sort of stimulus bill out. Now, things that are still kind of up in the air, we're not really sure if we're going to see it in there, is that $4,000 tax credit that President Trump has proposed for people who are taking vacations. Now, I'm not sure if that will go through. I know a lot of people don't really like that. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of that. But as it stands right now, in order to even get that $4,000 tax credit, you're going to have to spend about $8,000 up front. And you're not even going to see that money until early 2021 when you file your 2020 taxes. Additionally, there's been that $400 go back to work proposal where you'd get an extra $400 a week if you're on unemployment, but that doesn't really seem to be kept much traction considering the fact that we have more of a problem with getting people back to work. We also need to find jobs. And I think that's what the whole infrastructure spending is trying to do, especially if it's connected. If we look back to the Great Depression, the New Deal program had kind of same initiative creating jobs, but I think we'll definitely have to see how that goes. In terms of this $2,000 a month, a lot of people have been speaking quite a bit on that. And I think that while it's not impossible, I think it is very uncertain for it to happen anytime soon. I think that it is really and truly going to depend on two things: who wins the election come November, and also how bad the state of our economy get. So moving on to a little bit about overall talk in cases. Cases have spiked quite a bit, and we've seen that Florida has come out, for example, and Arizona have come out with new cases that the number has reached all-time highs. And hospitalizations, we see that an increase in hospitalizations, which is very concerning. And my concern is that New York is actually opening back up next week for phase 2. And so that's an advancement, and we know that New York's a hub. New York has a lot of people, so we should definitely have to see how that's going to go. And so I believe that the $2,000 a month stimulus check, while it is very unlikely at the moment, it could happen in the future, especially if our economy continues to crash. Now, when can we expect any sort of stimulus package / check to come out? I honestly think it's going to be anytime before August 8th. And here's why. So Republicans have already come out saying, specifically Senate Majority Leader, that they're not going to make any sort of decision or even start negotiating on stimulus information until July. Their plan is to really evaluate the state of the overall economy and see where we're at. So in July, after the recess, so Senate has a recess from July 3rd to July 8th, I believe, then they'll come back and kind of reevaluate and see what's going on with the overall economy. What do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think that they should be doing something right now, or do you kind of understand where they're coming out with the whole let's sit back and wait and kind of see and not make any sort of rush or judgment? I don't know how I feel about that, but let me know in the comment section down below how you feel. Really quickly, for anybody who hasn't gotten their stimulus check, their first stimulus check just yet, the new data coming out that roughly 35 million Americans haven't received it just yet. And so I want to say that if you are someone who has been on any sort of tax, any sort of Social Security benefit in the past, or VA benefit or RRB benefit, and you've been receiving your monthly deposit or monthly stimulus your monthly benefits every single month through direct deposit, and you don't file taxes, I'd say that you should still go ahead and file some sort of taxes and fill out that non-filers form. I think it's very important because I spoke about this quite a bit in a lot of my first stimulus check videos, that the two administrations, Social Security Administration and the IRS, hadn't been in contact as well as they should be. And as a result, I think some of the information got misconstrued and didn't transfer over. And so I think it's really important, if you are not required to fill out taxes, that you go ahead and you fill out those taxes. You fill out that non-filer form. Lastly, if you are someone who is having trouble getting to Get My Payment portal, there are steps that you can take, such as make sure that you are putting your address in correctly, putting a current address. You can also try putting in an old address because it's possible that they still have that address in the file, making sure that you are capitalizing your street address and abbreviating things such as road, boulevard, lane, and also make sure that you can also try typing in your address online on Google and seeing how that pops up, and you can go ahead and put that right how it is. Additionally, if you have a representative payee, something you can try is putting in your own Social Security number in your representative payee's actual address, and that should help you. For anybody who still hasn't gotten their stimulus check just yet, I really highly advise you to watch this video up here. It's very detailed. I walk through all these different steps, giving you reasons as to why you might not even be eligible in the first place, unfortunately, but also tips and tricks on what you can do. This is a very, very, very helpful video. I even have an entire playlist that you can go and watch and binge watch and look in the comment section down below and just kind of see what other people have done to help them finally figure out their payment pending date or whatnot. Wrapping everything up, that's kind of where we're at right now in the economy and in the world. We'll have to see what's going to happen going forward. Right now, we see that there's been quite a lot of spending in retail stores, but I think it's important to note that why businesses are even able to open back up in the first place is because of the stimulus money that is given from the CARES Act. And I think that's another thing that the Republicans are trying to do. They're trying to evaluate how much money was actually spent from the first stimulus bill by small businesses, for example, by big businesses, and also by individual Americans. And so we can kind of see what's going on, and I think that data will help them tell. But then again, who knows? Will there be another stimulus package? We know that for sure. Will there be another stimulus check? Yes. Mainly because we know that there's the November 3rd election coming up, and you don't want to be the person who was not for individual payments in this time of need. All right, guys, that's all I have for today. If you like this video, please do not forget to give it a big thumbs up. Go ahead and leave a comment down in the section down below. Tell me anything. Tell me what you want to talk about. And also, don't forget, I have a lot of other videos, mainly credit card videos that I've been making. And I think that now, while it's not a good time to apply for a credit card, now is a good time to just kind of look at your finances and see how things are going. All right, guys, until next time. Bye.